Crixis here, and today I'm going to share my favorite art supplies of all time, and hopefully this can be inspiring for you to try or just enjoying what other artists are using. So without further ado, just grab yourself a cup of tea, like this video, and let's start chatting about art supplies. I think what I want to do first is to share my favorite watercolors, because this is my favorite medium of last 2 years or 3 years, and this is the medium I use to create my final illustrations, and I am in love with handmade watercolors. So most of the brands I'm using, they're handmade, and I'm just gonna name my top 4. So I love Deep Light, I love Essee, I love Wallace Seymour and Ericius Studio. These are my top 4, but I do have other handmade watercolor brands as well. Previously I had my main palette on this one, but I realized that I really want to limit myself and work on smaller watercolor palettes. So that's how I created this one. And this is the color palette I made only from Deep Light colors. So these are 24 colors I managed to squeeze in, and I have been enjoying working with them. And I'm actually affiliate of theirs, so if you like these colors, go check out my link. You can get 10% off your purchase, and I get small commission at no extra cost. And the rest of the colors I really love. I made separate color palette, and it's a little bit it looks slightly different. There's more red, I guess, and a little bit more like grays and blues in this palette. And this consists of other handmade watercolor brands I use. I think by other tops, I love this color. This is the Rosso Verona by Essee. I think this is my favorite color of theirs. I also love the Green Earth color, and from Ericius Studio, I really love Asphodel. This is my favorite Ericius Studio paint. If you're speaking about paper, for these watercolor illustrations, I mainly use 2 brands. I love Arches, so I use both hot press and cold press, and I have these watercolor pads. These are by 7 by 10, and I also have a lot of loose sheets, and especially the Fabriano Artistico rough and cold press. I was thinking what kind of texture I like the most, and to be honest, I love all of them. I sometimes just pick them by impulse, as if I'm picking the colors I want to use for that particular artwork. The same goes with paper. I just pick whichever feels more natural in that moment. How I create these illustrations on loose sheets, I usually use the plastic sheets, and I tape the paper around, and then, basically paint it, and the tape holds it together, so there's no buckling. And by the way, this is the illustration I'm doing right now, because I will have shop update on 12th of April, and I will have new greetings card designs, so this will be one of them. And little self promo, I guess. I will have also these as greetings cards, and these both are painted with the Deep Light handmade watercolor palette. And I love those colors. My favorite brushes for watercolor painting are Princeton Aqua Elite, and I also love Princeton Neptune. These are my 3 most used brushes. The most used from Princeton Aqua Elite is number 1 liner and number 6 round, and from Princeton Neptune is square wash brush, which is 1/2 inch. I love these ones a lot. I actually have a few of the Aqua Elite range, but I'm not reaching for number 8 or 12. I actually think I need to get 4, because the size of watercolor illustrations I normally use is something in between A5 and A4. I rarely go bigger than that because I'm a slow artist, and I noticed if I work on smaller artworks, I can finish it in quicker pace. So that's what I do. For the tape, I either use the paper tape, just the regular one, or empty washi tape. And the empty washi tape from Japan, it's really high quality, so if after painting, I need to peel it off, it doesn't leave any marks, whereas with the paper tape, it's tricky, it depends on the paper you use. So these are the tapes I'm using. This is actually a jar. I actually don't remember where I got it. Maybe my mom gave it to me. And I keep the water here, and I really like that you can close it as a jar, because sometimes I'm really afraid, I don't know how about you, I'm really afraid of tipping the water onto the table. So whenever I finish working with watercolors, I just close it. And if it's on the desk, I feel safe that it will not get flipped over and the water will just go everywhere. So this is what I use. I love it so much. I love the shape, and yeah, I just love the size as well, because previously I used smaller ones and then I needed to change the water all the time, whereas here I can work like halfway through and then change it again. But yeah, it's really great. And I use paper towels for just lifting the color sometimes from the illustration. Okay, I think this is all about the watercolors.
Standing at your doorstep, feel it everywhere, feeling everything. Still hours left of daylight, remember everything except the final swing. Buried deep within me, always in a fever, always on my skin. All of us take the same road, try to understand. There's no way we can win in this land.
Now I'm going to chat about sketchbook work. This is something I do in my art practice a lot. I love to sketch ideas in my sketchbooks, so I thought I could dedicate the idea of sharing what supplies I use, what sketchbooks I like, and everything containing with that. So currently I am using 3 sketchbooks at the same time. I also have like some smaller sketchbooks which I use once in a while, but these are my main 3. I have this sketchbook which is from Print Origin, and this is with high quality watercolor papers, and I'm actually using this sketchbook just for watercolors, and this is like a rare occasion where I set rules for the sketchbook. And yeah, I'm gonna show you a little bit what's inside, but I use it only with watercolors. I even do like some lettering with watercolors if I do include it in there. And I feel like this is like really precious because it was more on expensive side. So I don't pick up every day. I pick it maybe like once in 2 weeks or so. And the one I'm using the most now is the Nina Costford sketchbook. I am almost at the end, and this is a little bit bigger than A5 size. I actually enjoyed the size. It's a little bit more like wider than usually sketchbooks are in this size. And I would say it's not the best with wet mediums because the pages really buckle up, especially if you use a lot of water. It's a little bit a nightmare to control because the other day I was scanning pictures because I'm making birds in Sketchbook Zine, and all the pictures from this sketchbook were scanned with like a lot of crinkles, and it was really hard to fix. So if this is something you're thinking you will scan your pages, yeah, that will be crinkly if you use the mixed medium. But this is perfect for alcohol-based markers and pencils and mechanical pencils. So anything dry medium, this is perfect because the paper is really smooth, it's really nice to touch, and I do enjoy working in it. But if we would go back in time, I would say my favorite sketchbook of all the time is A4 size Moleskine art sketchbook. It's perfect. It doesn't buckle as much as the Nina Costford one. You can work lighter washes with mixed mediums, and it's perfect with pencil. I love how it touches, like how you sketch with pencil on it. So this is my favorite of all time sketchbooks. But now I am just trying to use my stash, and also I recently started doing more bookbinding, so I plan to use my own sketchbook next time, which will be this one. And I can link a video down below of how I made this sketchbook specifically. I do love to try different ones because then I can know which I like the most, and also like just testing them out is really great. So what materials I use to sketch in the sketchbooks? That's the question, right? I'm going to start with pencils. These are some of the mechanical pencils. I am a huge fan of mechanical pencils. I have 0.5 millimeter. This is my golden size. I love it a lot. And I also have 2.0, which is quite much thicker than the 0.5. And I recently bought the Kaweco Sport 3.2, which is really nice to sketch with as well. For the erasers, I love this Magic Kohinoor eraser. This was a gift from Natasha Newton, I think. And I love this eraser a lot. It's quite well lived in, so to say. I also recently bought myself Tombow Mono Zero, and this is something I love to use for smaller things I need to erase. Okay, I'm gonna talk a little bit about clips because this is a game changer. I started using these big clips last summer, and this has been changed the way I work because it just opens up the page and I don't need to put some clips on the side. This can just be one clip that holds the page open. So this is how it holds the paper. This is the panko clip, and I have the metal one, which I bought a little bit later. I do prefer metal one, but I don't mind this plastic panko clip as well. This is much lighter, so I think this could be really nice to travel with. So yeah, this is a game changer when I work in my sketchbooks. Now I'm gonna chat about what art supplies I use in my sketchbooks. So one of the top choices for me is this Winsor & Newton Designer's Gouache. And this is a set I made myself by mixing these paints together to create my own palettes. And it's kind of like pre-mixing a palette, so you don't have to mix colors while you're working on something. And I mix them just by my taste. And I actually made the video a couple years back, which I'm gonna link. And since then I have replaced some of them. I have based these new colors off of the old ones, and I really like this idea, so I'm going to show you a little bit later how I use something similar in my travel palette kit. And yeah, I love it a lot. It's great for sketching, and sometimes I use this one and then use pencils on top. Speaking of pencils, I actually don't use a lot of pencils, but the ones I use are the Derwent drawing pencils, and I have them by the table just in really close proximity. And this is a new set I recently opened. This is my previous Derwent drawing set, and this side was the one I used the most. Oop. And some of these pencils are tiny now. And then I bought some refills myself, and then I bought this new set. So I have a lot of Derwent drawing pencils now. Open the new ones and put them here so I can see which colors I use the most. And if I see up here, then the most used is the chocolate and ivory black, and also warm earth. So these are top 3 colors I use the most in past month or two. And yeah, I love these pencils a lot. I love the color palette. I love the softness of them. I love the layering. I can use them on top of the gouache. And yeah, I just enjoy them. And this is the vintage jam jar I got in charity shop, and I think it just fits it perfectly. Another medium which I have started using late in late November last year are alcohol-based markers. And this is my collection with some refills. And I think this is the medium I have rediscovered because I used to use it a lot, especially when I started my illustration journey. And then I stopped using them, but I think now I have found the way back, and actually I really enjoy working with them. I have used them in my sketchbook work, and I recently did art challenge called Ancient Woodland. I'm gonna put some pictures up here where I use these markers, and I really enjoyed working with them. So these are the colors I currently have in my collection. And yeah, I thought it would be fun to show my top 10. And my top 10 are these colors. So this is my top 10. And these are the colors I have used the most also in my Ancient Woodland drawing challenge. So these are really arty colors. I'm gonna link all the color names down below in case if you're curious. They're not light fuzz though, so I use them mainly in my sketchbook work.
I just wanna go out and walk with you. Baby, you know I just like to talk with you. You don't have to tell me anything that's new. I just wanna go out and walk with you. I just wanna see your shadow next to mine, sailing over pavement with our two outlines. I like to see the shape you're in from time to time. I just wanna see your shadow next to mine. I just wanna see the same things you can see.
I think I want to chat a little bit about my travel art supplies. So this is the Paganal mini Sandacroll in truffle color. And I actually have a video how I assembled it. And this is basically almost untouched in my studio. I use it most of the time outside. And whenever I feel like sketching outside, I just grab it without like rearranging things and just... yeah, this is how it is. And this is how it looks. I actually don't use the pencils that much, but I guess my most used thing is this little art toolkit palette. And I actually have affiliate link down below. I'm going to link the art toolkit palette. And this is a pocket palette, and these are the colors I have mixed myself. Also using the same method as I did for my studio gouache palette. And yeah, it's a little bit messy. That's how it looks right now. I love using it. It's so light and I can mix my own colors. And yeah, it's just perfect thing to have. And I made my own sketchbook that goes in it. And I have sketched several tiny little doodles and illustrations. And it's been really fun using the gouache to do them. I clip the palette to the sketchbook and it's on the side, and I clip the top part of the other side so it holds up. But I can of course move this palette on the side as well. And it's kind of like mini kit.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden.
Okay, I want to chat about the fountain pens. And I'm using fountain pens to sketch in my sketchbooks as well as do journaling and planning in general. And I have 6 fountain pens. These are 6. I have Lamy Safari in Savannah Green. Then I have Kaweco Pebeo in Breezy Teal. I have Twisby Echo in Jade. I have Ferris Wheel Press in Brush in Scarlet Red. Or, no, I think this was a Red Carpet. Then I have the Kaweco Sport in Smooth Sage. And the Ferris Wheel Press in Bronze. And if I had to choose, my favorite would be this one. This is my discovery since last year. I bought it, I think, in November, and I have been using it a lot. You can just click it, open it, write it. It looks gorgeous. I love the weight. I love how it writes. And it leaves this patina over time. And it was really shiny when I got it at first. And now it's just made this unique patina, which I really, really enjoy as well. So I think this is my favorite fountain pen. I think I prefer the ones where you can really easily uncap, because I have 3 fountain pens which you can just uncap, and 3 of them are the screw ones. Screw mechanism. I noticed that most of the time I reach for the ones I can just quickly uncap. So yeah, these are my faves. I am using them in my 1 sketch a day journal, which is something I will chat a little bit later because I'm almost at the end of finishing it. But I just thought I'm going to show you little doodles which I do with these fountain pens. And yeah, it's kind of like little illustrations with fountain pens. Speaking of writing, in the last year I have learned the magic of calligraphy, and I have acquired this lovely Flourish pen by Tom Studio, and this is my most favorite tool when it comes to calligraphy and writing. And this is, I think, in rose color, and I have currently Rembrandt G nib. But I also love the Leonard EF, which is like really tiny one, but it's covered with gold, and yeah, that's that. And I use the Tom Studio calligraphy ink. This is a black one, and sometimes I fill it in these little containers, and then I can get the ink from here. And I treated myself last year to getting this brass holder, so it can hold the pot, and yeah, I can put it in different angles and get last few drops out of it, which is really, really nice. I am ambassador of theirs as well, but I generally love their stuff and what they're doing, and I love using their products. And I think the last things I could chat about is planning and journaling. This is something I love to do, and I'm a huge fan of analog planning and journaling. So I am using the Traveler's Notebook Company. This is traditional size. This is not passport. General size? I forgot what's the name. I'm gonna link it. Put the name somewhere here. But this is in camel brown color. And I currently have 3 inserts. So one of them is the dot grid. And here I'm just writing things I need to do. So the second insert is the monthly diary. And this is freehand. You write your own date and year. And then you can write things you need to do. I usually use this side of the page to write everything I want to do on my Patreon that month. And my third insert is the same as the second, because I'm almost at the end of finishing the first one. I think it will be 14 months since I started using this, and yeah, I love it a lot, and I'm really happy to use it in my just planning stages. Another thing which I'm doing is journaling my day-to-day life, and kind of this is a place where I write what I'm doing in that day. And this is my first Hibonichi, and this is it's not Hibonichi. This is my first Hobonichi. Sorry, I'm new to this world, and this is the 5-year journal. There are 5 years in a row. So basically, in 2035, you write like a few sentences. And then I think the most exciting part will be the next year, because if I will write something in that day, I can see what I did in the last day. And this is kind of basically documenting my days, because I realized that I have really bad memory. I don't remember a lot of the things I have done. And I just want to see what I'm doing in day-to-day life, even though it's nothing like really special. I think I have skipped like 1 day or 2 in this year, but I pretty much pick it up in the late evenings or nights before I go to sleep, and then I write something there. I think that concludes all of the things I use the most in my work. And yeah, these are my favorite art supplies. I thought to show more, but I think this is the key thing which I'm using, and I hope this is inspiring. So thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please don't forget to leave a like. I'm gonna link all the links down below with all the materials I'm using. You can check out my affiliate links as well. There will be some discount codes. And I also want to quickly say thank you to my lovely Patreons who are supporting me from month to month and allowing me to film these videos to you. And before I go, just write the secret word, which I'm gonna put it up here so I will know that you stayed till the very end. And without further ado, have a good day, evening, morning, wherever you are. I'm gonna see you later. Bye, everyone.